You're back listening to Bannockdokes, and I'm your host, Phil Paxton. Thank you for joining me today. We got a good one. Sorry if I sound a little stuffed up. We'll get into it in a little bit. But before we do that, make sure you like, subscribe, rate, and review in whatever podcast app you're listening to. And if you're checking us out on YouTube, make sure you're subscribe, hit that bell notification, give this video a like, and even just leave a comment down below. It helps us to tell us if you like it. If you don't like it, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know. And if you aren't already, make sure you are following us on our Instagram page. That's just at Bannockdotes, BANDECDOTES. That's where we do all the updates for all the guests that are coming up, any sort of update involved with Bannockdotes, any sort of show that we're putting on together. It's all on our Instagram, so make sure you're following us there. All right, let's get into some Ontario shows, local Ontario shows happening in the lovely month of July. Tomorrow, Bannockdotes presents a killer show happening here in St. Catharines at the Warehouse. We've got the return of No Orphans. That's right, they're playing alongside with Sunnyside and our friends in Cohesion. And I want to give a special quick shout out. I forgot to include Cohesion in the last episode that I mentioned that they're playing the show. They didn't drop or anything like that. It's honestly, I filmed that intro a couple weeks ago and it slipped my mind. Sorry folks, we love you guys in Cohesion. They're playing. That's going to be a good time. We got Wish Ender playing, which is Omar's band. That's going to be a killer time. And then we have Ocular Trauma, the local boys, killing it. And they're going to be opening up that show. That's at Warehouse here in St. Catharines. Make sure you show up for that. Doors are at 7. You can grab your tickets at warehouseniagara.com. 12 in advance, 15 at the door. Let's go. This is going to be a good time. Friday, July 22nd in Hamilton at the Doors, we have Detherius with Stench of Death and Last Wretch. Saturday, July 23rd in London at the Dome, we have Strange Ways with our homies in Reality Denied and Evil Vision. In Kitchener that night, however, at Jack Burger, we have Life in Vacuum with Jolette, Terry Green, and Soul Pause. Blind Girls and Basque are doing a handful of shows together. That's right, July 26th, they're in Ajax at Roticulus. July 27th in Hamilton at the Doors Pub. July 28th in Waterloo at the Button Factory. July 30th in Toronto at New Friends Festival. Make sure you're grabbing your tickets and going out to those shows. It's going to be a good time. Wednesday, July 27th in Mississauga. We have Botfly coming all the way from Halifax playing with Strange Limbs, Quiet Earth, and Spook the Beast. And that's at St. Louis Bar and Grill. Thursday, July 28th at Warehouse, Bannockdotes presents Well and Wasted with the Holdouts, our homies in Deck Piss, and New Union. That's going to be a killer time. Make sure you grab your tickets at warehouseniagara.com for that. Gonna be a blast. Saturday, July 30th in Toronto at the Rock Pile, we have Get the Shot with Enemy of God, Born Without Hope, Offside, Twin Rivals, and Hostage. That's going to be an awesome hardcore gig. Make sure you go to that. In London that night, however, at Victoria Park, there's a free show with Rebel Few, the Filthy Radicals, Solaris, K-Man and the 45s, and that's at Ribfest. That's going to be a killer time. Sunday, September 1st, Bannockdotes presents Broken Vow at Warehouse here in Niagara, playing with Take It to Heart, End on End, Rust, and we just are announcing it. This is brand new news that Reality Tonight are also going to be playing that show. That's going to be a killer time. And of course, September 9th and 10th in Mississauga at the Hansa House, we have Damage Control. The Soulless Music Promotions presents Hold Your Ground Fest 22 with Never Ending Game, Mind Force, Pain of Truth, Dare, Momentum, Gridiron, Cohesion, Cold Shoulder, Endgame, Mile End, and many, many, many more. Get your tickets at holdyourgroundfest.com before they're gone. They're almost all gone. And we also have a Denny's after party happening that night. I'm pretty sure both nights on Hold Your Ground Fest. I think there's going to be some sort of food eating competition happening. The folks in Mile End definitely wanted me to plug this on the podcast. So if you've got nothing to do after that hardcore festival, either day 1 or day 2, head on over to Denny's, because apparently it's not that far. And I think they're going to do some eating competition. What the fuck is up, Denny's? We're going to have a good time. That's what's going to happen. All right, folks, let's get into this episode. This week was a bit of a different episode. I'm sure you've already seen some of the previews and whatnot that I've been posting about it. We went on tour. HELLBENT went on tour with Daylgo Abortions, which is a rad band from the late 70s, early 80s. They're from Victoria, BC. They're a Canadian band. They were a great time. We learned a lot from them, and my intentions were to try and sit down with each one of them and do some podcasting. Actually, my full intention was to try and do some roadcasting, actually post it up in the van. But it turns out, we had 8 people crammed into a 7-person van. It was the dead of summer, so windows were always open. So, like air, it would have been happening the entire time. And, it would have been a weird interview with other people sitting in and not being really able to chime in. So I didn't really get a chance to sit down with Dayglo Abortions. But that's okay. That's what this episode's about. You'll find out that Nick and I caught COVID at the very end of our tour. We were the only ones, too. Paul and Parisi, they were fine, and Dayglo were fine. We were just the only ones that ended up catching it. So him and I, we quarantined together at his house. Like, we dropped the last show in Waterloo, which we're bummed about that. I know our Waterloo folks out there, we're really looking forward to hanging out with us. I know Edibles Guy would have been a good time to hang out with. Shout outs to Edible Guy and Bad Egg and all the folks working hard out there in that scene. We're really bummed that we couldn't play that show, but obviously we're just trying to keep it safe. So we hung out at Nick's place for I think I was there for 5 days before I decided to go home. I was reluctant to go home because, here's some brand new news. I know a lot of you folks who are personal friends of mine know this, but I'm having a baby, so my wife is pregnant, so I couldn't come home with COVID. So that's why I hung out with Nick for a couple days at his place, and we had a great time. Honestly, we watched a lot of The Boys, played a lot of Fortnite, and then we did some podcasting at the end, just recapping all the fun stories that happened on tour with Dayglo Abortions, because we had a great time. So I'm glad I can still give you guys some sort of content. It wasn't the stuff that I was necessarily hoping for, but the tours that the stories that we have from this tour are a blast, and there's no shortness of that. All right, let's just get right into this episode, folks. Welcome back, Bannock folks. You're tuning into another episode of Bannockdotes, podcast that holds it down for the underground sound. I'm hanging out with Nick today.
Hello.
Nick, why are we hanging out today?
Because we're on day something of quarantining after getting COVID on tour.
That's right. That's right. I think we're on day 4.
4 or 5.
It all blends together.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Nick just said, we caught COVID at the very end of our tour. We had to cancel the last show, and ever since we came home, we've just been hanging out together, and it's been a fun time. That's for sure. We'll get into that before we get into some of the tour stories that we had with Dayglo, because we certainly have some. Quarantine together. It's been fun. I feel like we would make good roommates. I don't know if, like, it's been such a natural thing. We've already been on tour and getting into hotel rooms. So, like, being in the same room together.
Started with our flying buddies, and now
that's right.
Comes full circle.
Yeah. Here we are, Pearson Airport. Nick and I are taking our first airplane in our adult life. We're on the the speed walking. This is very new to us. We realize this is pretty primitive for most people, but listen, we're having a good time. We're speeding. We're speeding on this.
I'm just speeding more.
Oh boy, you should get going then. Now that you're flying, now you're an adult.
Did not enjoy.
No. What was with the power that went out twice?
And the third time, if you count it, once we landed.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I did not like that. So where do we go?
All right, now we gotta go find our shuttle for our hotel. We just got to the hotel, and we're gonna be smoking out of this bad thing because it's 3:45 in the morning, and we have nothing else to smoke out of.
We experienced flying together for the first time. That was insane. We had lots of, the plane, like the power shut off at one point.
Yeah, twice.
3
times.
And no one acknowledged it.
No, that was weird. I didn't like that.
That was awfully strange. And hanging out in quarantine's been good. We've been lots of video games, Fortnite.
Yeah, you got me into Fortnite. Never played Fortnite before. That's been fun.
Yeah. And we were playing some Tony Hawk, and I got you into Boys.
Yep.
The show The Boys.
Yep.
How you been enjoying that?
I've really liked it. I didn't. No one had anyone that had tried to explain it to me lost me very quickly. But you did the one day on tour, and I remember me and Matt were in the front, and he looked at you like, that doesn't sound interesting. But I was like, okay, cool, all right, I'll give this a try. And now, yeah, this was a good time, and quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, so it's been lots of Boys and Fortnite, and a couple stand-ups peppered in there in between. You've been making some incredible meals the last couple of days.
I wouldn't say incredible, but they're meals, they're food, they're sustaining us.
It's making it work. Yeah, no, it's we're having a good time here. That's for sure. So yeah, let's get started about tour. We just finished 8 days. I can't remember exactly how many days with Daylgo Abortions. They're a fame. If you don't know who this band is, they're outrageous. They're a band from like the late 70s, early 80s. They're a punk rock band from Victoria, BC. I believe that's where they're from. These guys have been around the block. They've been kicking around, and
A punk rock band called Dayglo Abortions has had several hundred of its record albums seized by police at an Ottawa record store. The band's Toronto record manufacturer is charged with distributing obscene material, the first time the charge has been used against a record company. The case began 4 months ago when a father in the Ottawa suburb of Nepean, who is also a policeman, heard the Dayglo Abortions album playing on his daughter's stereo. Despite the Ontario charges, the record is still available in Vancouver. And we should warn you that the material in our story on the group contains material that may not be suitable for younger or more sensitive viewers.
We had such a great time. We clicked so well together, and we had so many cool and funny stories with Dayglo Abortions. So the way that this tour started out is Nick and I, like we just mentioned, flew out from Pearson Airport, which was an experience in itself. We're again, first time we had ever flown ever, and we're traversing Pearson. It's busy as fuck, and for whatever reason, they have like this violinist and pianist in the corner just like playing the most manic music ever while you're just trying to look for your terminal, and it's like ding, 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 ding.
Thousands of people everywhere and loud noise and just that insanity happening.
It was quite the experience. But then we went through security, which was fine. But they pulled my bag aside.
Yep.
And we thought we were going to get...
probably the weed.
I was the weed, and I told them, I was like, I have weed. We're going to Halifax. This is legal. And they still give me kind of a stinky eye, but like, they let me go. It was no big deal. And then we get on this airline, and I feel like comedy and airline always go well together because they just fuck you around so much. And that was the case here. That was definitely the case.
However, we had a nice airport meal.
That's right.
At my favorite bar I've ever been to now. The bartender, anytime anyone walked in, he would say, sit anywhere at the bar, and no one sat at the bar. And you could just see him every time it happened, getting more and more disgruntled and frustrated, to the point where a young child, which we learned was named Angelus.
Yep, that's right.
Through the next 6 hours of the mom yelling at at Angelus. Angelus threw food on the floor, and I thought the guy was going to quit on the spot. So that was fun.
Yeah, that bar was certainly interesting.
Yeah, that was. I would go back there just for the bar, just to watch this guy. If I could go back there just to drink, that'd be great.
There was 2 items on the menu.
Yes.
Chicken fingers and fries and poutine. That was it. That's the only things you could get. I think they were $20 a plate, but they felt like they should have been $8.
Yeah.
Really expensive food at the airport. Yeah. And I like how they don't tell you any prices until you pay the bill, and you're looking at like an $80 bill.
I watched 2 people get their bill and say, "Holy shit! Can I see the receipt to make sure that they were charged correctly?" And it was an indication of what was to come.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then we sat around for another 6, like you said, 6 hours,
7 hours
before Swoop Airlines dragged us on and on and on. Pushing our original flight time was supposed to be at 8:30.
Yeah,
we ended up leaving at 11:30.
I think we boarded at like 12,
midnight.
Just after.
It was late. We didn't get into Halifax till 3,
something like that,
because the hour changed there, and then we met Paul at the hotel, and we all got into. There was only one. For some reason, we got the hotel room with only one bed. It was a king size bed, but the 3 of us had to share it. Matt hadn't, and he was still with Hexus. He was dropping them off, so we all crawled together like fucking Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. And I couldn't stop fucking laughing about that. It was probably about 5 o'clock in the morning till we actually fell asleep, because we had just met up with Paul, and then we went up for compliment breakfast. We had such a good time, and then we went out to Fredericton. That was the first show.
Our new home. We decided.
By the way, Bannocktotes, we're moving all the way to Fredericton. Sorry, guys, in Ontario. Everyone's been cool here. All the bands are cool here. But you don't look as pretty as Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Yeah,
Lovely
Fredericton
place.
is awesome.
Oh, man. So we played this awesome punk festival. This was our first show in 2.5 years. Oh, we made the shirt. Made the shirt, Nick.
Made the shirt.
Made the shirt. Oh, justice, baby. Hellbent tonight. Let's go. First show in 2.5 years, baby. Let's go. This is where we met up with Daylgo Abortions. What did you? What was your first impressions of those guys?
This is going to be a fun week. There's going to be some stories, and this is going to be a good time.
Yeah. So they were just hanging out in the green room back there. They were pretty quiet amongst themselves. You, Dayglo, and we're just rolling up, and hey, we're going to spend a couple days together. It was, very friendly, and we were playing with that Citizen Rage band. Shout out to Citizen Rage.
Yes,
they're a cool band.
Awesome guys.
We only got to play the one show with them, but we wish we could play a couple more shows with them. I think they're from Calgary.
Yeah.
Really cool band. Definitely, if you folks are listening, check out that band. And really cool punk festival. We ended up playing third or fourth last. There was a lot of bands that played, but we got given those really cool fucking gummies.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got given these atomic gummies. And do you remember correctly if the guy said? I swear Paul quoted me on this. That the guy that helped make the special effects for X-Files or
something
some
like
shit?
that, yeah.
It was the guy who made the edibles.
Yeah, and they're shaped like Lego bricks.
Yeah.
Took us a couple days to realize that.
I thought they were green the entire time. They were red.
Yeah.
My colorblindness was kicking in. So you pop one of those in and every night, and you were going to bed just fine. Those were great. Those lasted us the whole tour, and then we ended up going to Halifax, Gus's pub.
There's no room for any year.
Oh yeah. So you can sample that up. See,
Never mind.
Oh shit! Which was a nice time.
Yeah.
Like probably our best show we've ever had
Yeah.
in Halifax. We got
Definitely,
the
yeah.
don't air pizzas and whatnot. One of the members of Dayglo Abortion told me a really good story about someone they knew traveling to Europe and having some problems. They proceeded to tell me that they were trying to go through the security thing just like I did, and they pulled him aside and they're like, your bag has quite a bit of methamphetamine in it. So they and their friend said like they could visibly see it in the bag.
It was the guitar case and the lining of it. They're like, yeah.
and apparently they still couldn't find it, even though it was quite visible. So they pulled him into the back. And I forgot to mention that this person was smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
They were smuggling drugs. They had hooped some up their butt, and they were ready to to go to Europe, but they got pulled aside because of their bag. And while they're in this room there, this person's got like leather pants on, and they're telling them, "Oh, we need to strip search you." So he's trying to get these pants off, and he can't get these pants off. So he gets the officer to start pulling them off, and the other person starts walking in, and the other officer's just yanking his pants off, screaming obscenities. So finally, they're at one point they're searching him, and they want him to spread his cheeks so that he can so they could get up there with the rubber glove. And this person goes, "Oh, I always wanted to do this." Bends right over in front of these officers and starts talking with his ass and starts going, "Fuck you, cops!" And then at that point, they were just so disgusted with them. They were like, "Oh, fuck this," and they just packed it up and called it a day. And nobody got caught.
That was that.
How fucking wild was that? That was one of the first stories I heard one of the guys from Dayglo tell me about one of their guys, and then I was like, yeah, we're in for a good week. We're in for a good week. So we got to know Murray and Sketchy the Clown and Blind Mark fairly well. Blind Mark was and Jake, that's right. They had a merch guy named Jake, who we'll get into a little bit later, because maybe we could even call up Breezy, because Breezy wanted us to call him up, and we can ask him a little bit about where we left off with Jake. But yeah, from that point on, I think we ended up doing Woodstock. Was that our next part? Yeah. So we went out into the sticks, out of nowhere. We're this really cool house.
Yeah, Woodstock, New Brunswick.
Another
also a very cool New Brunswick town.
Yeah.
5,000 people, I think. It was very nice. New Brunswick is a very nice province.
Yeah, very nice. And they had this little stage built in their basement. It was just a house show that we played. All these nice folks showed up. We had a great time with them. We stayed there.
It was like the Sticks version of like Leaky Bees.
Yeah, like in Ottawa, but it was just like out in the middle of nowhere. What? Oh no, I'm playing in Woodstock tonight in this rad house show. Look at, they got this sweet stage. What up, Mark?
Yeah, it's fucking gonna be a good night for sure.
Oh hell yeah, no, it's a good time. If you're in Woodstock, Brunswick, come out to the Dayglo Abortion show. We're gonna have a good time. Let's go.
Very amused by this. I was like, you don't know what that is? I have no fucking. Is this gonna go in a story? No, don't put me in a story talking shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they had everything stocked up and ready for us to play, and And again, like we had such a good time. Yeah, all those folks there trying to create a scene. That was a good time. So definitely keep people in Woodstock, New Brunswick. After the show, everyone just kind of ended up doing a jam band thing.
Yes.
That was quite funny
Yeah.
because everyone was trying to get on in the session and they eagerly wanted to play, and that was quite comical. I enjoyed that.
That was good, yes.
And then everyone was just smoking in the garage for like hours after.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of good times because it was just like a house party. And then, where'd we go from there? Quebec. We went to Rimouski.
There you go.
Rimouski. Rural Quebec. And this is when we started getting to know at least Blind Mark a little bit better.
Yeah.
There was a time, do you want to tell the story about when we were in the van and we ashed?
Paul was wanting to go throw something out the window, and it flung back and hit Mark and in the forehead. And he had his headphones on, so he couldn't hear what was going on.
Right.
And Phil was sitting beside me in the back, and Mark was in the driver's side. Phil was asleep, so I saw this happen. And Mark's kind of looking, and I am looking back to see like where it is down here to make sure it's not starting a fire or anything. And then a couple days later we found that sitting there in the van cushion.
So good.
Yeah,
so good. And Rimouski or Murmuski, I kept pronouncing that wrong. That was a stinky city. This was right by the ocean.
We walked by the ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely stunk.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was one of the first times I've ever smelt the ocean. Didn't smell well.
No. We've been by the ocean in Halifax and stuff before.
Yeah, that's right. We have. We didn't do anything this time.
No,
we were
time.
like in and out pretty quickly in Halifax. Lovely city, though.
Yeah.
Lovely city. And then we ended up in Jonquière.
Yes.
Jonquière, which has one of the funniest stories that I think we have from on this tour. We're all unloading. Everybody just showed up to the venue, and Blind Mark's got to go to the bathroom. So we guide him to the bathroom, and then when you're first unloading, when everyone's getting to the venue, it's a bit of chaos. Everyone's unloading the truck. Someone like myself's kind of just getting used to the place, seeing where we are. Oh, is this our green room? Oh, this is where we're playing. Oh, this is the stage. Oh, this is the bathroom. So we're just kind of someone. So I think Paul just let Blind Mark off into the bathroom. Said, "Oh, you got it from here." So, no one thought anything of it. And then next thing you know, we're getting in there, and Paul goes into the bathroom after Blind Mark. And the way that this bathroom is set up is it's just quite simple. There's 2 urinals on the one wall, and then just some stalls on the other side. And he's just going to go use a urinal. And he walks up to the urinal, and he notices in between the 2 urinals, which is a decent space between the 2 urinals. You can't blame the guy. Was just a bunch of piss on the wall. So we don't think Blind Mark made it, but hey, after that, being blind and going on tour is probably one of the most. This is a terrible term, but most eye-opening fucking thing that happened. Like, it was so crazy to have someone like that on tour because, like, it just makes you so humble.
Yeah.
It makes you so humble about how, like, wow, like, this is cool that you're doing this, and like it was blowing my mind every night. He was such a good performer, such a good. Shout outs to Blind Mark. He was such a good sport about everything. And then we ended up in where were we from? That Jonquière. We went to Trois-Rivières, which was a lovely city.
Yes,
lovely city.
Yes. The venue, I don't know what it was called.
Lutton Tight. I'm pronouncing that wrong.
It was a very cool venue, but below it was up on the 2nd level, and below it was this street festival. The
Yeah.
whole thing was blocked off, and there was tons of people and stuff happening. It was cool.
Yeah. And then at one point, Paul and I went for a walk, and there was like actually like a concert going on down there.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was when when we were trying to get pizza.
When you got the pizza, and yeah, there was they were playing like Cardi B, and like Paul and I were dancing on the thing there. But yeah, you had a really weird run-in with the
pizza
pizzas.
story. Yeah, so me and Matt went to go try and get a bunch of pizzas for all the bands. And so we found a place that was, a block away or whatever. And so we asked them how much a large pizza is, thinking, and here it's whatever, $14-16.
Yeah.
It was like $35 or something. We're like, holy shit, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot of fucking money for a pizza. And so the guy started trying to haggle with us. He's like, oh, well, how much, like, how many pizzas do you want? We said 4. He's like, well, how much do you want to pay for 4? And we're like, well, that's really weird. We'll be back. So we went and tried to like call some other places, and everything was kind of closing. The only other one we got through to was also like $35.
Unbelievable.
So we went back to this other guy, and Matt like haggled with the guy for pizza, and they like shook on it after, and like it was quite a sight.
Yeah, that's how you know the recession's happening.
Yeah.
When the pizza makers are haggling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like $35 for a fucking pizza,
And like it
It's
was
wild.
a 8-10 slice. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah, it wasn't-
we're
and
not
it was
talking
thin.
a 2-4.
It was very thin.
Yeah,
it was like
very-
a thin
yeah.
crust. It was it
It was quite crunchy. I don't know if it was my favorite pizza, to be honest.
So we
but
ended up getting 4 for $100.
it was a deal we couldn't turn our noses up to.
No, we also had no other options.
That's right.
So
And then we ended up in Cornwall on Friday, right? That was that Friday.
yeah,
Yeah, and then that's the biker bar.
yeah.
There was a biker bar in there, and it was like a motorcycle club, which was interesting to play. That was
Yeah,
the
it was
last
fun.
show
It's
that
a
we
good
ended up
time.
playing, and and then we ended up dropping Dayglo off at Spiderfest.
Yeah, because that was when after that we started fucking getting the positive test.
Yeah. So then dropped him off at Spiderfest, which would have been a great time, but then we just zoomed on home, and then here we are.
Yep. Sitting in my living room since then.
Yeah. Lots of fun. Is there any stories that I missed out on? Oh, Jake, of course. We didn't barely even talked about Jake. So Jake was Daylgo Abortions merch guy who wasn't supposed to be with them there, right?
Yeah, I think he was supposed to go home at some point.
He was supposed to go home at some point, but he lost his wallet and he lost his glasses.
Yeah, so he couldn't fly home.
So he couldn't fly home. We still don't know if Jake is home or not. Jake, if you're home, let us know. Please let us know. Or if you're in Ottawa, still, we'll try and get you home or something like that. Jake was an interesting fellow. He lived in our trunk for most of the time.
Yep.
Because he was an extra person that wasn't supposed to necessarily be there with us, but we made it work. Yeah, what a great guy. He dated a bank robber?
Something like that.
Something like that. Do you have your phone?
I do.
Let's call Matt. Let's call him Matt Breezy. And I think he knew exactly the inside scoop on the bank robber story.
I don't have a ton of battery, but let's see what we can make happen.
We'll see what we
here.
can make happen.
I guess this is how we do this.
Yeah.
Very high tech. No, he's not going to answer. He's probably driving.
Oh, true. He's probably driving.
Matt's driving Trench on the Misery Signals and End tour, which is playing in Montreal tonight.
That's right. This will come out a couple weeks after, or maybe just the...
You've reached
nothing.
No.
But I think if I'm not mistaken, he was dating somebody, and they went to go meet up with them, and instead robbed a bank.
Something like that. And then she just like ghosted him, and he found out it was because she robbed a bank and then went to jail.
As one does.
Yeah, yes.
After you rob a bank, because it is 20. I don't even know when this happened, but
18 years ago.
18 years?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could probably still rob a bank back then.
Probably. Probably.
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah. Apparently. And it was the bank she worked at, I think.
What's that?
It was the bank she worked at.
Oh, so it was an inside job.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't get to figure out if it
We didn't
was...
get the inside scoop on that. Jake,
No.
tell us what's going on with that, or if that's an open case, we won't talk about it.
Well, no, she's been to jail already.
Oh,
It's
that's
not
right.
open.
That's right.
Yeah,
She went to jail. So yeah, we'll have to get the inside scoop on that. Yeah, I think we covered all the anecdotes that happened. Was there any gas station food snack that you were going to this time around?
There's a couple of days that I wanted slushies.
Nice.
And then the one day Murray was like, I'm going to go to slushy. I was like, you know what? I've wanted a slushy for a couple of days.
Yeah.
There were those delicious Sour Patch Kids ones.
Jolly
Jolly
Rancher.
Rancher ones. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
We were getting treated.
I think almost everyone ended up getting a slushie that day.
That's right.
They were very delicious.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a good on the road snack.
Yeah.
Just getting sandwiches, trying to eat healthy and trying to eat salads was mainly my thing this time around. And the fact that we had a little bit of green rooms at every couple of venues. The venues that we played were actually all really cool. I enjoyed a lot of them. We got treated very well, that's for sure. So hopefully Hellbent will go out after we fucking shake this COVID off and hit the road again, and maybe we'll have new tunes out too. We were working on some stuff. I was working on some stuff before we got this started. So lots of cool stuff happening with Hellbent. Nick, did you want to plug maybe, I mean, everyone's pretty familiar with Schoolhouse Studios.
Yeah.
But if you folks need any recordings or anything, this is actually the first episode we've had with you on video.
It is.
Because
It
you've been on the podcast before, because we did a couple out
times.
of the control room.
Yeah.
But finally, people can finally put a face to the
Hello.
voice. Although I'm sure people have already.
Yeah, probably.
So if you need any recordings, mixing, mastering, you do it all. You do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, do anything. If you need any sort of help, Nick's
Let
your
me know.
guy. Reach out to Nick, Schoolhouse Studios. He's working out. Davis works out of there. Lots of cool stuff. All right, let's probably just wrap this up. We could probably call it a day. Right on.
Cool, we got some Fortnite to play.
We got some Fortnite. Let's get into it.